Hello everyone, it's Emaphant here and welcome back to a brand new speed build. So today we're building a kind of like a fairy tale cottage is what I ended up calling it. So it's really cute. There's a lot of garden stuff. It's a little old fashioned, like it is kind of in that cottage style. So that's a little bit of a different build for me. I usually, as you guys might know, typically build really modern houses. So I wanted to play around with this style a little bit more, look at some of the more old fashioned stuff, and just like be like really cottagey and really gardeny. I was heavily inspired by a lot of Simlicity's videos while I was building this, especially around kind of how she does her roofing. I think is really interesting. So you'll see me building in a kind of different style here, where I'm starting with like the front of the house and the front room, like just shapes, and then roofing those and then continuing to kind of build shapes off of that, as opposed to what I would usually do is kind of do like the floor plan and do like the whole house as a go and kind of figure out where I want rooms to be, and then roof afterwards. So I'm doing it a little bit backwards here just because I feel like when you start with more of the floor plan and more of like the whole house, it can be a lot harder to do interesting roofing. Like this has a lot of funky little shapes that stick out. So you see me like kind of putting a lot of funky stuff in here that I wouldn't usually do, or that is a lot harder to do if you get all the floor plan figured out and then try to go back and do this. So I like doing that. It was really, I think it helped me roof in a lot more interesting ways. Like, I don't know if you guys feel this way too, but I find roofing in The Sims so difficult. Like, it's really hard to make it not just like a big square. So I really wanted to kind of play with that, whatever it is called, and do something that would be a little bit more interesting, a little bit more involved, and I think a little bit more realistic. Like if you think about a lot of houses, like cottages or suburban houses, a lot of them tend to have, dormers, and they tend to have little like additions and other stuff like that are a little bit more involved and not just like a big box. So I wanted to play around with that and like see what I could kind of do that made it look a little bit more visually interesting and simple, like how the house is made. While it's still like kind of a big rectangular, like there's little bits that stick off, but it's like a doorway that sticks off, or like you can kind of have a built-in desk that sticks off. And there are two chimneys here. Like that's another thing that's kind of like sticking off interestingly. There are actually two fireplaces in those chimneys too. I did manage to squeeze in both fireplaces. One of them's pretty squished. We'll see that in a little while. But yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed making it look a little bit more realistic with all those little bits and things sticking off. I think that it fits with that old-fashioned look a little bit better, like the cottagey look, where you probably had like an existing house and then had a bunch of additions and things that were added over time, as opposed to like a new construction house that might just be like a big block because it was all built right at once. So working on all the wallpapers here. This is heavily inspired by Simlicity's videos. She has this house called a Bluestone Manor, I think is what her video is titled, that if you guys see, like, I'm using a lot of the similar color schemes from that video because I just really enjoyed that video. So, like, if you guys don't know Simlicity or you haven't watched her videos, like, you should absolutely check her out because her builds are gorgeous, and I really got inspired to build this house from some of her stuff, so like definitely give her a look. But yeah, so I like it. Like it was hard for me in some ways to do this house just because I'm not used to like matching all the wallpapers in an old-fashioned house. Like I like a lot of concrete, I like a lot of like wood siding, so like that bowling pack siding, I like that one a lot. I do like some of the more modern ones from Get Together a lot that look like more wood, like, that doesn't really make sense, does it? But like more like slatted wood as opposed to, I guess, never mind. Spade's also, I was going to say more like wood than Spade, but Spade's wooden wallpapers also look, I don't know what I'm talking about, you guys. I'm a little tired actually, so I actually just started a brand new job. Today was my second day when I'm recording this, so I've been like a little bit overwhelmed, like doing all that stuff and like doing the interview process leading up to this and like accepting the offer, like all that stuff. So I'm feeling like a little bit, I don't know, a little bit crazed today, just because I've had a lot going on. That's kind of why I've been a little too busy to do YouTube stuff lately. It's just because I had all that stuff going on in my personal life. So I'm hoping I'm going to get back into a little bit more of a routine now. That's my goal. We'll see if it actually happens, but that is absolutely my intention, to get like a little bit more in a routine now that I'm going to like have structured working hours and all that stuff. So I'm hoping for that. working on the floor plan here. We have it mostly figured out. So we do end up having 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms actually, because there is a really small half bath on the first floor as well. So I set it up for a little girl, a child probably, and then a toddler that I kind of figured wasn't necessarily born yet, because we do it like very simple. Like it's all kind of tan and white and I guess really genderless is how I would describe it. So I kind of figure that like the family lives there has like a little girl who's a child, or possibly like you could change it to a toddler if you wanted to pretty easily. And then we're expecting a second child that they didn't necessarily know the gender of yet. That's kind of what I was thinking. So you guys can absolutely change that if you guys want to download this. It is available on the gallery right now. It's actually been available for a couple of days. So also, if you guys want some sneak peeks in my videos, I'll typically share them on Twitter before I've actually recorded like the voiceovers and done all the YouTube stuff for it. So if you guys follow me on Twitter, shameless plug, you might get to see sneak peeks like this house was available earlier. So you could kind of see what was coming up and like even download it earlier if you guys really like the house. So I would totally check that out because I did have this house shared on the gallery I think 2 or 3 days ago from now when I'm recording this. I'm hoping to get this video actually available soon, but we'll see how that goes. So yeah, if you guys kind of want a sneak peek on that and to see what's coming out on my YouTube channel, you can go follow me on Twitter and check it out. So yeah, working on some gardening stuff here. We do use a ton of stuff from Romantic Gardens in this build. I really like the backyard. We'll get a bunch of stuff in there in a little while, but there is just a bunch of gardening stuff all around the house in like all sides of the house really. So yeah, getting that all figured out. I feel like I always decorate landscape would be the better word, with yellow and white flowers. I don't know why I like those flowers better than all the rest of them, but I feel like there's more options that aren't overly vibrant, that like look not realistic, I guess I would say, because I feel like most gardens don't have like super pink flowers all over the place or like blue flowers all over the place. And I feel like there's more options to have, like these ones have the white and yellow on the same swatch kind of things. And I think that looks more realistic. So I like doing that a lot, but I feel like I need to decorate with a different color of flower because I think I do this one a lot. I don't know. I like it because like they also have a lot of things that only come in yellow, like that one that I just placed a little while ago, that is kind of grassy with a couple of flowers. Like that one only comes in yellow, and I think it's a really, really nice ground cover. So I don't know. You might hear my boyfriend around. He, I think, just sneezed really loudly, but he is actually home while I'm recording this, so he's listening to me record, which feels a little weird, but that's okay. We'll survive. We'll make it. Yeah, doing a bunch of landscaping. We just get so many flowers in this house. So it also means that this house is quite expensive. I don't remember exactly what it came in at, but it was close to 200,000 simoleons. I'm pretty sure it was like over 160,000 simoleons, I think. I don't quite remember. But so it is expensive, mostly because we do a bunch of landscaping, and then it is also very cluttered because I wanted it to kind of feel like that cottagey house, and I feel like cottages, like they're typically a little bit more old-fashioned, a little bit smaller rooms. So we do like several smaller rooms, and like rather than like a big open space, like open floor plan. So there's a bunch of stuff like that, like clutter in there as well, that it's going to be an expensive house. And we do like a bunch of columns. We like just put a bunch of stuff in there. I don't know. I think it makes it look really cool and look really interesting, but it is not a starter home by any means. So just fair warning, if you guys do want to download this, like you're probably going to want to use cheats to download it because it's expensive. Anyway, we're putting a bunch of columns in now. I saw someone else, now I can't remember who, and I feel bad about that, but doing columns like where that wallpaper has the vertical lines and like having them stand out a little bit more. And I really liked like the added texture of that because it made it stand out more, like framing the windows and some places like that. So I thought that was a really interesting idea that I hadn't seen, like I hadn't thought of doing before, and I really enjoyed. Somebody else did that with like a brown column on one of the brown swatches of that kind of Tudor style wallpaper. But I think it looks really cool. I think it adds like some visual interest that's a little bit more dynamic than just like it's not a flat white, because you can kind of see some wood texture in that wallpaper, but I think it was interesting to add that. Those columns on some parts of it to kind of make certain aspects of it stand out more. So yeah, getting doors in, getting some flooring in. We do use not every pack, but close to every pack in this build. I very much was not limiting myself on packs in this build, so I'm sorry if that bothers some people. I'll hopefully do a pack limited build soon, but like it's hard when you have all or most of I don't actually have all the packs, but I have most of the packs, so it's hard like when you have all of them and like oh, I really want to use this thing from this pack and this thing from that pack, and like that you have all those options to be like, oh no, we're just gonna do base game or something like that. Like it's very frustrating, but I can understand that it's frustrating for other people too who like maybe can't get all the packs, that if they do really like a house but they can't get all the packs, like it might look super, super different. So I'm hoping to do one of those builds soon. I'm not really sure when that's going to happen because, like I said, I did just start a new job, so I don't really have free time during the day anymore, but hopefully that'll happen soon. So I actually do end up closing off this kitchen a little bit more just because I wanted to kind of be realistic with that like old-fashioned build. Is like you think about older houses, they're not going to have open kitchens to dining rooms because that just like wasn't a thing, 50 years ago, 80 years ago, whatever time period. Not even that long ago. Anyway, so we do close that off in a little bit, and we'll put an archway there. So it's not completely closed off. It's not like you have to go through a door, but it's a little bit more delineated. And yeah, we ended up putting some tile in here in a little while because I just felt like there was so much wood, and I was kind of thinking that as I was doing these counters, I was like, yeah, I like these counter swatches and I like the old-fashioned aspect of them, but there's like, it just doesn't match wood-wise in this space. So I was also really annoyed that I couldn't find any bar stools to go on that little island that were the style I wanted and that matched that wood. Like, I don't know why we have such a variety of wood swatches here. Like, it's a little frustrating that we can't just have like matching, 5 wood swatches. We don't even need that many. Like you would need like a dark wood, like a dark brown black wood. You need, maybe if you want like a more reddish tone wood, like this one I would describe as a little bit more reddish tone, then like maybe a more gray tone wood if you even wanted that. Like I don't even think that's necessary. And then like a light tone wood. Maybe a whitewash wood, but that's a lot. Like, honestly, I would want like a dark brown black wood, a medium wood, and a light wood. And I would want every single thing to like at least look like they could match with those colors. And we don't have that. And it frustrates me. I don't understand why that can't happen. But anyway, we put a bunch of clutter in here, like I said. Right now I'm just kind of going through and like dropping things out from the catalog that I think are interesting, and I'll move everything around so it looks a little bit more realistic. Right now I'm just kind of literally plopping things down on the counter that I'm like, oh, that looks pretty. Let's do that. I also wanted to use this tile from the vampire pack, but I hated it, you guys. I hated it. Like, I liked the idea of it. I liked the old-fashioned aspect of it, and it was like a little bit more retro. But I just thought it was so ugly. I'm sorry if you guys like this swatch, like this style. I think that the pattern's nice-ish. It's not my taste at all, but I think it's interesting. But it was so ugly and I couldn't get over it. So we'll end up changing that to like a brown subway tile, I believe, in a little while, because I wanted to do it. I wanted to be a little different, a little more old-fashioned than I would typically like, but I couldn't do it. It was so ugly. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry if you like this swatch. I just did not like it. And I think that it was worse next to that brown because I think it was just like, it's a very brown house. I don't know. The cabinets are brown. The tile on the walls is brown. All the other rooms, for the most part, have brown paint. I painted everything brown to start with, just so I kind of had like a basis, but we'll change up a ton of that wallpaper as we go through the rooms and get some more other colors in that and kind of dictate how the room as a whole is going to look. So don't worry. I know I've painted every wall brown right now, but it's not going to stay that way. It's okay. We're going to change it up. Yeah, so moving on to the dining room here, I really, really love that big bay window from the laundry stuff pack, the new one. I love how it has that ledge kind of sticking out that looks like a window seat, but I wish that it was actually a window seat, or if not, at least like a ledge that had slots to like put things on and like a shelf slot. And it's not. So we ended up using move objects and that 9 key to raise some things up and put them on that shelf, but you really have to like use some cheese and kind of push the game to actually do it, which is frustrating. I wish it was just had slots, but I think it probably doesn't. So this is my guess. This is my theory that it doesn't. because it sticks out farther than the wall, you have to put things on that shelf, quote unquote, from the outside of the window. And I think that it messes up when the object passes through where the wall should be. I think that like it doesn't know what to do if that footprint of the object passes through the wall. So I think that that's why they couldn't necessarily put slots on the shelf. I'm making this up. I don't know. I have no idea what the actual reason is, but like that makes sense to me. So I'd be curious to know if anyone knows, like, I guess, I don't know, if anyone knows actually how the coding works for that and if it's possible, that'd be really, really nice because I am curious, but that makes sense to me. So yeah, getting a bunch more clutter in here. This is the second fireplace. We actually saw briefly the first fireplace. So this one is like very much squished here in the corner. I was playing around with a couple of couches and things at first, and then I was like, no, like I have a chimney here. Like I should have a fireplace. And if you think about like an older fashioned home, they're likely to have multiple fireplaces in a home. So I wanted to kind of stay true to that mentality and put a fireplace in here. And it's cute. I don't know. It'll make the Sims happier too, having more fireplaces and whatnot in here. So when we do actually come back to this room in a little bit, and where you can see that trunk by the fireplace, we switched that out for that globe bar that comes with Glamour Stuff Pack, because I was like, this house needs a bar, like that's important and I want it. So now that we're getting the dining room kind of settled, I don't know if I talked about this before, but I was kind of playing around with if I wanted this to be more of a family home or if it would be, because it is kind of more old-fashioned, if I wanted it to be more geared towards elders. And like I said before, there are two kid-oriented rooms, but it made sense to me that this could also potentially be like the grandparents' house, and then the kids have their own rooms for when they come visit, but they don't necessarily live in the house. So feel free to take your storyline wherever you want, but like I kind of made it so it could go either way. Either like it could be just a family home, but I also thought that the style of the place really made sense for the grandparents to be, like for this to be the grandparents' home too. There's a lot of stuff in like the backyard and other skill building stuff that like maybe grandparents or like elders wouldn't necessarily use. I'm thinking like a fire pit, maybe not. I think that the handyman table we'll get in a little while. Like that makes sense for like an elder who's handy to do stuff like that. But for the most part, you know, I think that it could kind of go either way. It could very easily be a family home, and I wanted it to be that way, but I think stylistically it also makes a lot of sense for this to be an elder's home whose grandchildren or something come visit a lot. So take that how you will, do whatever you want with it. I don't know, I think it's cool. Anyway, working in the living room here, you saw us do a tiny bit before when I was just kind of sizing the space. I wanted to get a couch in that made sense, and I put that fireplace in there just so I could keep that in mind, that that's how I wanted it to be. But we're getting this pretty well wrapped up. It is so old-fashioned. I mean, I probably keep saying this, but this house, I really enjoy doing it. Like, it was very different for me, but it's very different for me doing something this old-fashioned. If you watch any of my other videos, you probably notice that most of my houses are like, they're very modern. A lot of them could be very minimal, like big open floor plans. And this one is like, it's a lot more closed off. We actually switched out these arches that you can see for doors just because I kind of wanted to run with that. Like I wanted it to be how you would see more old-fashioned homes don't have as open floor plans. So we do swap those out in a little bit for just the same doors that we are using everywhere else in the interior. So I thought that made more sense. You know, it is more fitting with what the age of the home would be, like if it was original, as opposed to like remodeled or something like that. So we do have an office here, and I'm kind of playing around with a bunch of different things with this. Like we had a bookshelf that I put in a little while ago, but I wanted to kind of play with an idea of doing like a built-in bookshelf. I don't know that I love how it ended up looking, because I did want to use the wood from Cats and Dogs. I thought just it looks right, but that style of desk doesn't necessarily look built in as well. So I don't know. I liked it. I liked how it looked like built-in bookshelves and all of that, with it framing the desk, but the style of the desk, like specifically like the legs of the desk, are a little funky with that. So I don't know. I enjoyed it. I also was getting a really weird glitch that I don't understand what was happening. I skipped over it, but you might have seen briefly that the desk was a darker, like it was shadowed in a weird way. And it actually fixed when I swapped out the archway for this closed door. So you probably only saw it for a second, but I don't know what was causing that, and I was really frustrated with it. So I cropped this out, but I like tried maybe 20 different chairs with it because I didn't know it happened when I would place the chair. And so I think that the game was like registering the chair as creating a shadow from the light source through the archway. I don't know, but I was so mad at it. I couldn't figure out why it was happening. So I ended up wanting to switch that door on the archway forward door anyway, and that fixed the problem. So I was like, okay, great, awesome. It's working now. But I don't understand why that was happening, like why it would glitch out with the chair being placed there with the light going through the archway. It was so, so weird. So I don't know. It's funky. Sims team, like if y'all know what's going on there, it was annoying me, but I cropped it out, so you probably don't even notice. So yeah, we have a nice little office space. We got a violin in there. If you didn't notice, I just stuck it in there really quick. Ended up putting an aquarium just because I wanted something that was like stylistically appropriate with it being a little bit more old-fashioned. Yeah, we'll do a little bit more skill building in the next room over from that, but just, fixing some of this wallpaper. Like I had put brown on everything just because I wanted to get like a base point for what I wanted to go for color schemes, but we do go through and change up a ton of stuff so it's not just literally brown in the entire house, because that would be awful. I mean, I'm sorry if your house is entirely brown, but like just a brown house everywhere is rough, I think. It's boring. So yeah, we're getting a lot more skill building stuff in here. We do get this painter's easel. We get a card playing table. We'd put, like I said before, that handyman table in there. I should have done this, and I did not play test the easel and the handyman table so close to each other, and then we get this like wall divider and little like reading chair area over here. So I think it might work, but I totally didn't play test that at all, and I really should have. So I apologize if that doesn't work, but you should just like pull out the wall divider and possibly some of the canvases that I put on the floor next to the easel. Those might interfere with the Sims ability to use that. I don't know. So yeah, this is just a fun little room to do like fun activities and play. What's that called? Don't Wake the Llama? That's what it's called. I kind of wish it was actually a card table, but I think you could just take off the Don't Wake the Llama game to make it a card table if you want to. So I think that might in some ways be more fitting for the mentality of it. I don't know. Whatever you guys want to do, it's cool. Yeah, getting some more decor in here, and then we're changing up some more of the wallpaper now that we're moving up to the master bedroom. There's a little bit of furniture in here already, and that was more just because I wanted to size things. And like as I was doing the floor plan, I like to figure out where I'm going to place beds as I'm doing the floor plan, especially if I want to put a double bed, just because I want to make sure I have enough room like on either side for end tables, if it's going to be the master or, a closet, like things like that. Because that obviously is going to impact where I want to place my doors, and I don't really like having windows behind the bed. It depends on the window shape. I think sometimes it looks good, but especially if you're going to do like one of these 4-poster beds, I don't usually like that. Some people do. It's personal preference, but I actually really, really like how this master bedroom turns out. I would not ever decorate my room like this, but I think it's really cute and really quaint, and I think that it ties together really, really nicely. So I do like these beds from Cats and Dogs. I think they're really interesting, and I love those quilt patterns in the abstraction. Like I think that they're really interesting. I would not put a quilt like that on my bed, but I think that they're really lovely and like they're really homey, and it feels like grandma might have made this for them, and like it's a family kind of, not heirloom, but it's been in the family for a long time kind of thing. Yeah, so I like them a lot. It's not my personal style. Like I would not put that on my own bed at home, but yeah. Nice master bedroom. I almost said bathroom. Nice master bedroom. We get a walk-in, or like one of those wardrobes, I guess they are walk-in closets. I don't know. They're not like, when people can make their own walk-in closets with like some of the decor objects, but you can technically walk in them. Yeah, so we get that. We get a dresser. Obviously, we have that fireplace, and we have a couple of chairs over there. Yeah, so it's a very comfortable master bedroom, I think. I think it's really nice. Moving on to the master bathroom here, we got a double vanity, double sinks. I believe we get a bathtub and a shower in this like a bathtub shower set in this bathroom. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to do bathrooms if you just make them rectangular. A lot of the time I like to do like insets for my toilet or insets for my shower bath combos, just because I think it divides up the space a little bit more logically. You might hear my phone buzzing. I apologize if you hear any weird background noises in this video. There's kind of a lot of stuff going on. Anyway, what I was saying, like, I think it can be really useful if you do your floor plans not just as rectangular shapes, because it makes the flow of the room a little bit more dictated. So if you guys are having trouble making rooms look full or making rooms look like they all go together cohesively, I would totally recommend not making your rooms rectangular, like not making your houses super rectangular, because I think that you're a lot more likely to have dead space when you do that, just because it's a big square room and you might not have as obvious of places or nooks and crannies where you can put furniture or like a chair or something. So I would recommend that. I think, it can be a lot easier to get all of your stuff that you need in, or like if you are just playing The Sims to like have a ton of skill building stuff, for example, like you might just build a big huge square because that's easier just to put things in. But if you really want your house to look good, to look realistic, I think that it can be very helpful not to have rectangular rooms, just because that's, I don't know, it's a bigger space to try to fill in a way that makes it look lived in, like really lived in. So I like to do that. Anyway, working on the little girl's room here, we put a couple of things in that like hallway area. We'll put a couple more toys in there later on in the video, but that's kind of like I would consider the play area for the kids. And then each of them, there's the 2 kids' bedrooms that they have a couple more things in there. So we ended up doing this girl's room super girly. I think this is the girliest room I've ever built in The Sims, like ever built in The Sims. I don't usually go like super, super girly because like people say I'm super girly. I think I'm not super girly. Other people say I am, so like take that for what you will. But I would not have as a child, I would not have decorated my room like this. My room was like orange and dark purple, and my room as a kid was totally nuts, but I would not have been like the super, super pink and purple or like pink and yellow kind of thing. Now, like I do actually kind of like pink and yellow. I think those look really nice together, but as a child, like I would not have made my room this girly. There's a lot of flowers. There's like those butterfly things that are really fun from the kids' room stuff pack, but yeah, it's very girly. So I don't know. It's cute. It's really cute. Like it's a very cute little girl's room. And I do like it. It's just, I would not have chosen this as a child, but it's fun, She's got a lot of things on the walls. She's got some stuffed animals and things that look like stuffed animals around. I love having decor items that aren't actually toys that look like stuffed animals, because they will put them away. If they're like toys, like the big stuffed animals, they won't. But if they're toys, they'll actually put them away. And then you kind of don't get like that look of a kid playing in the room, like their whole space in there. And like, I want that look. Like I do all this random stuff because I want that look. And then they put all the toys away and I'm just like, oh, come on guys. You're messing up my aesthetic here. Come on. So I don't know. I like that we have some decor. Oh, shucks, rant. A little bit of a rant there. I'm sorry. But I like that we have some decor items that look like toys, look like something that a kid would enjoy playing with, but they're not something that the Sims are going to try to put in the toy box. I think that's really good. Anyway, I think I said this before, but we've moved on to the toddler rooms that I did like in a really neutral aesthetic. Like it's all kind of tan and taupe and simple. I do believe I said this before, but I was kind of thinking that like either you could go with that grandparent story where they don't live here, like the kids don't live here all the time and they just come and visit, or you could go with what I was saying before about like they have a kid on the way, they don't necessarily know like the gender, so they're doing this like super, super simple. Feel free, like obviously if you guys want to download this house, I may have already said this, but like it is available on the gallery under my origin ID at Emaphant. I'm gonna make sure I don't forget to say that because I'm pretty sure in the last like 3 videos I've forgotten to say that it's posted in the gallery if people want to download it. So let me say it 17 times in this video. It's posted in the gallery if you want to download this. But feel free to redecorate that if you guys do move a toddler in here and want to make it a little bit more suited to their personality and their interests. Like it's very, very simple right now. I didn't really know what to do with it, and I liked the wallpaper I was playing with as well. So I kind of wanted to experiment a little bit more with wallpaper just because like You know, when I'm doing modern houses, there's not a ton of wallpaper that looks really modern. Like most of the wallpaper in The Sims is really traditional or really old-fashioned. So I wanted to play around with that since I was doing an old-fashioned, the rare time that I do a more old-fashioned home, I kind of wanted to mess around with that, which is fun. I enjoy doing it, but I probably won't do, I don't know. Let me know if you guys want me to do more homes in this style. Like, I loved doing the outside of this home. The inside of it, like, was really interesting, but I don't know that it's something that I will do a lot of, unless you guys specifically ask to see things like this style. So I also am kind of wanting to play with something where the exterior looks kind of like this house, but it's more like a modern cottage or like renovated cottage. So that's something I'm kind of playing around with doing. I don't know. I kind of need a little bit of a break from like building the exact same type of house because I spent a while building this house and I cut a lot of it out for you guys. Like we skipped a couple of the bathrooms just because this video was really long when I just dumped all my footage in. So I'll probably have a little bit of a break from building something just like this, but I had so much fun building this house and like I'm obsessed with this backyard. Like this backyard is goals, absolutely. My backyard right now is about like a 10-foot patch of brick, which is great because I don't have to mow the lawn or anything like that, but like also it's a 10-foot patch of brick, so I can't do anything really with it. But this backyard is just like, it's so much fun. You know, we have that tree with the lanterns from movie hangouts. We have a fire pit. I believe that one's from Outdoor Retreat. We have a couple of gardening spots. We have the new laundry, washboard, and drying rack out here. We have a bunch of stuff from Romantic Gardens that's mostly decor. We do have those monkey bars that are from Romantic Gardens, so they have like all the flowers on them. You know, we get a grill in a little while. We have a table. We have all these potted plants and just gardening, like not gardening, skill building, but garden stuff out here. So this backyard, it's got a lot going on. We do something that I actually really, really like. In a little while, we'll do those, what are they called? The like stone rugs that we got with Get Together. We'll do like a little stepping stone pathway for those in a little bit. And I've seen other people do the square ones in really modern builds. So they'll do that as like patches of concrete in really modern styles, but I haven't at least seen anyone do like these little circular ones in kind of that twisting pattern or curved pattern. So I'm sure someone has done this before, but I really liked that. I was like, oh yeah, like I did a bunch of terrain painting with some of the cobblestone terrain paints as well, just to make that seem like even a little bit more like natural looking. So that's another thing that we cut out a lot of, was we cut out most of the terrain painting just because the video was so long. So I think that's super cool. Feel free to steal that idea because I think it fits really well with this kind of cottage, fairy tale cottage theme going on here, is to have that little like curved circular like stepping stone path. I think it's really cute. So yeah, we're getting close to the end here. We'll do a little bit more, mostly, yeah, we're only outdoor, I believe, outdoors from this point on. So we'll do a little bit more gardening. We do crop out most of the terrain painting, but you'll see a little bit more of that. Let me know if it bothers you guys that I'm cropping out things like this, like the terrain painting. And I believe we crop out 2 of the 3 bathrooms in this house just because the video was so long. So let me know if that bothers you, if you guys want to see everything. If you'd rather me break things like this up into 2 parts, I can absolutely do that. I just wanted to crop out things that I thought were a little bit less interesting to watch, so just let me know on that. We're just about finishing up. We're just doing this balcony that you can get through the master bedroom. So yeah, that pretty much brings us to the end. If you guys like this video, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe down below to see more. You can also follow me on Twitter, where I typically will post a sneak peek of what I have upcoming in the week, so that way you guys can see what I'm building and maybe download a little earlier. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye!